Friends, have you ever noticed that when we start a new trading strategy, our excitement is at its peak in the beginning? We feel like this time the market will move according to us. This time, everything will change. But after just a few days, 2 or 3 losses come, and suddenly that same strategy starts to look useless. A voice inside says, maybe this isn't working. Let's try some other method. And that's where the downfall begins. I did the same, changing strategies again and again. Every time a new method, a new indicator, a new setup. And every time the same result. Excitement at the start, then doubt, then loss, then a new search. But one day I asked myself a question. Is the mistake in the strategy or in my lack of belief? That day I realized that the ones who win in the market are not those who have the best strategy. They are the ones who know how to trust one strategy. Look, every strategy has a logic behind it. A probability, not perfection. If a system can win 60 times out of 100, it is already powerful. But the problem is that after every loss, we start questioning that logic. We forget that the market is full of randomness. Sometimes even a perfect setup can give a loss, and sometimes the worst setup can give a profit. But if you change your strategy every time you see a result, you will never reach the stage where consistency begins. Consistency in trading means the same setup, the same rules, the same mindset, following them again and again without emotional influence. And this is where most people fail. When losses come, the mind gets scared. It wants comfort, and comfort only comes from changing the strategy. But real growth is hidden in discomfort. I learned this myself. When I stuck to my tested strategy, a strange peace came inside me. Yes, losses still came, but they no longer shook me, because I knew my strategy wins on probability, not emotions. And when I genuinely started believing this, my focus shifted from results to process. Now every trade was part of my system, not part of my ego. If you keep changing strategies after every loss, the market will never reward you, because the market tests consistency. It does not leave your patience untouched. It wants to see how long you can stand on your belief. And the one who stands firm wins in the long term. So the next time a strategy feels like it's failing, before leaving it, ask yourself, did I truly give it a fair chance? Because in trading, the greatest strength is not in the strategy, but in the belief you maintain with it. And when that belief becomes strong, the market slowly starts moving in your favor. Behind every successful trader, there is only one secret. They chose one strategy and stuck with it for life. Because trading is not just a game of charts, it is also a test of faith. And that is where my real trading journey began. When I understood that instead of trying to defeat the market, I should try to understand it. That day I made a decision. I will no longer see every trade as a win or a loss. I will live it as a process. Look, the biggest mistake we make in trading is judging every trade by its result. If there is profit, we are happy. If there is loss, the system is wrong. But think about it. If a cricketer judged every ball by the result, would he ever score a century? No. He plays every ball as part of a process. Some balls don't give runs, some become boundaries, but his focus is on playing the right shot, not on the scoreboard. Trading is the same. Every trade is a step. Part of your long journey, but we put emotions into every trade. Profit increases our ego. Loss breaks our confidence. And that's where we go wrong. I have felt this many times when I focus on results. I become anxious. Every candle, every tick starts to scare me. But when I focus on the process, meaning the right setup, right entry, right risk management, my mind stays calm. Because then I am in control, not the market. Process-based trading means trading with discipline, no matter what the result is. If your setup triggers, enter. If stop loss hits, exit. That's it. No joy, no sorrow, because every trade sharpens your skill, even if it is a loss. Once I heard something that stayed in my heart. Result is just a mirror, not a reflection. It shows what you did. It does not define who you are. It is feedback, not a final verdict. When you start seeing every trade as a process, you move away from emotions and closer to logic. You start seeing growth even in losses. You understand that profit is just an outcome. But process is your foundation. The market rewards you when you accept its unpredictable nature. When you see every trade from a data perspective, not emotionally. When your decisions are rule-based and your feelings stay outside. Remember, Consistency in trading does not mean winning every time. It means following the same process every time, without shaking, without fear, because when you focus on process instead of result, the market rewards you silently and slowly. But even then, there is a trap where most traders get stuck: overanalysis. Yes, the same trap I have fallen into many times. Have you noticed? When we traders face losses, instead of doubting ourselves, we put the chart under a microscope. Maybe the indicator was wrong. Maybe I should change the moving average time frame. Maybe I should increase the stop loss. And that's where overoptimization begins. I used to do this. After every loss, I would dive into charts for hours, backtesting, tweaking, fine-tuning. Every time I felt I had found the perfect formula, but the market showed me again that no perfect strategy exists. The market is like a living organism. It changes every day. And when we try to fully understand or control it every time, we confuse ourselves. Overanalysis does not make us confident. It paralyzes us. Many traders don't lose because their strategy is bad. They lose because they keep changing it after every trade. New rules, new filters, new setups. And no system ever gets the chance to mature. Improvement is necessary, but constant change is destruction. Stability is the most underrated skill in trading. When you give a strategy time, observe it, live it, only then do you understand its rhythm, and that rhythm makes you consistent. Another dangerous effect of overanalysis is fear. When you search for perfection in every setup, you hesitate to enter. You keep waiting for more confirmation, and by the time confirmation comes, the move is gone. I understood that the purpose of analysis is clarity, not certainty, because certainty is impossible in the market. The art of trading is having faith even in imperfection, staying confident in imperfect setups, and instead of changing your rules again and again, following them again and again. When I left overanalysis and adopted simplicity, clarity entered my trading. Charts looked clean. Decisions became easier, because now my focus was on the logic of the setup, not its decoration. Stop trying to impress the market. It only wants consistency. And when you learn to stay stable, the market rewards you not for perfection, but for patience. When I adopted simplicity, I heard an inner voice. Do you really trust your strategy, or are you just pretending? That moment, I realized the real battle is not on the charts. It is inside the mind, and the most powerful weapon to win that battle is an emotional journal. Losing against the market is not as painful as losing against your own emotions. When loss happens, it is not the chart that breaks. It is our ego. When profit happens, we start thinking we are geniuses. This emotional roller coaster pulls us away from our strategy. One day I decided to write down my emotions every time they appeared. I took a notebook, and after every trade I wrote how I felt, why I entered, when I felt fear, when greed increased. At first it felt foolish, but slowly I started seeing my patterns. I understood when I become impulsive, when I become overconfident. And that awareness brought a new clarity inside me. Emotional journaling does not mean becoming emotionless. Fear, anger, happiness, regret will come. The difference is whether you observe them or become their slave. An emotional journal teaches you to observe. It shows you a mirror of your decisions, your triggers, your weaknesses. And when you start knowing yourself, the market's moves feel predictable. Because the real unpredictability is not in the market. It is inside us. When I wrote down my fear and greed, they became lighter. Losses stopped being emotional. They became data. And when losses become data, they teach instead of scare. Discipline in trading does not come only from following rules. It comes from awareness. And awareness comes when you understand yourself without judgment or shame. The market tests every trader's psychology, but the one who learns to document his emotions passes every test. Because an emotional journal is not just a notebook. It is your mental roadmap reminding you that victory is found inside, not on the chart. When I understood my emotions, another truth appeared. I was not treating trading like a business. I was treating it like an experiment. After every loss, new setup. After every profit, overconfidence. Like a child playing with toys, I was playing with charts. But the market is not for children. It is a ruthless business demanding discipline and payday. NC, I asked myself if I ran a business, would I change my entire strategy every week? The answer was no. Every business has a process, a structure, a system. It is not built overnight. But in trading, we throw away the blueprint after every loss. Running trading like a business means consistency, reviewing data, making decisions based on logic, not emotions. Just like in a shop, profit and loss happen daily. Fluctuations are normal. No business owner expects profit every day. He thinks long term. Where do I stand at the end of the month? The same thinking is necessary in trading. There was a time when opening charts gave me an adrenaline rush, but a business owner does not seek thrill. He seeks stability. When I adopted a business mindset, my trades became work. My decisions controlled. Every trade became a transaction, not an emotional adventure. I started making monthly reports, number of trades, wins, average profit, average loss. At first, it was difficult. Then clarity came. I knew whether the problem was in strategy or psychology. Trading becomes dangerous when treated like a hobby. A hobby is emotional. A business is disciplined. When you treat trading like a business, you respect capital risk and process. Success in trading does not come from jackpots. It comes from steady growth, consistent learning, and patience. When I started thinking long term, everything changed. I stopped asking what will happen in this trade and started asking where I will be after 100 trades. The market does not judge you by one trade. It judges the average of your next 100 trades. But we panic after one loss and inflate ego after one profit. When I focused on the next 100 trades, emotions faded. Loss became data. Profit became motivation. Long-term mindset makes a trader calm. When you think long-term, short-term automatically improves. I counted trades instead of results. 10 trad. S's 20 trades, 50 trades, 100 trades. And when I looked back, consistency was there. Profit had formed without magic or shortcuts. Trading is not a short-term luck game. It is a long-term belief game. If you stop seeking validation from every trade, the market starts validating you. A trader matures when he understands every trade is just a dot. When dots connect, destiny forms. Now, after every trade, I say one line, "It's okay, 99 more to go." The real power in trading is not in magical indicators or secret formulas. It is in discipline, belief, and patience. Trading is more a journey of character than charts. Character is built by sticking to one strategy, prioritizing process over result, avoiding overanalysis, understanding emotions, running trading like a business, and living in long-term clarity instead of short-term noise. Trading is not a race. It is a marathon where consistency is your speed. The one who keeps trusting his system even after falling is the one who wins, because the market does not reward perfection. It rewards patience. If you truly want to become a successful trader, promise yourself today, before changing your strategy, try changing yourself. See every trade as feedback, every loss as a lesson, every profit as a reminder that the process works. Remember, consistency in trading does not come from luck. It comes from faith. And when your faith connects with your strategy, no matter what the market does, your confidence, stability, and growth will never break.